Hey everyone, my name is Asmit Malkannawar and I was a GSOC student at Genome Foundation in the year 2022, and today I'm going to show you how you can make a great proposal so that it increases your chances of getting selected in the organization. Starting with the basic structure of the proposal. As you can see, there are different sections like title, about me, project description, benefits of your proposal, the deliverables you'll be working on, your previous contributions, the motivation to participate in the program, and what are you going to contribute after GSOC. So we'll go one by one, starting with the title. Title is the most important part of any proposal. It ideally is the name of your project. Then the next section would be about you, and it would contain general details like GitHub link, email ID, LinkedIn profile, and time zone. Time zone is necessary to mention so that org gets an idea about your working hours. Next would be the project description. So this section will contain the summary of your current project, what you understood about your project, and the experience with the project you have. You can also mention in short what new features can be added and how it will be helpful for the community. Then next section would be benefits of your proposal. You should be able to explain why your approach is better than the others. You would want to add why it's beneficial for the community and the organization. To support this, you can create mock UIs, explain workflow, mention what's missing, and this will give you and the org a clear idea about your thought process about the project. And moving on, deliverables is the next important part in the proposal, as this will describe how you will work on the project and what you can deliver. I can say this is the logic piece of your proposal. You need to spend a good time with this section. So in my case, it took me multiple iterations to give the final deliverable. You need to take GSOC timeline into consideration and arrange your deliverables week by week. Then also include documentation and research to support your ideas. For example, if you are including some API integration, you should include the documentation links, how you are going to integrate it, are there any other ideas out there similar to it. So it will help you build your idea much better and or to understand your perspective about the implication. The next would be the contributions. Well, this section is completely optional, and many orgs don't consider previous contributions, but some orgs do. And though some organizations don't accept new contributors, instead they try to give recognition to the contributor who had been working with their project for quite a few time. Contributions don't need to be necessarily code contributions. It can be non-code documentation fixes, or in any way you can help the community to add the value in it. And in my case, I joined the org around 1 month ago and started my contributions and help community members set up their project and help with the documentation. This is all I mentioned in my proposal, so it obviously give me an edge over the others. Moving on, experiences. Well, this section is also optional, but mentioning your experiences will also give you an edge over the other contributors. Relevant experiences will give org a confidence to vote for your proposal. If you have more experience, then you would require less time to learn ins and outs of the project. In my case, I just knew the basic web development, but the project was in Jekyll, so I had to learn Jekyll from scratch and then implement it. And it's not that you need to know 100% of the tech stack of the project. Even if you know 50% of the project, the rest 50% you can learn while working on the project. And yeah, one more point, always keep the experiences relevant to the project. And even you can even mention the close source internships, if you have done any, what task you were assigned, how did you tackle your errors, and what you learned from that program. So yeah, always mentioning your experiences will help you build your proposal of much more impact. Then moving on, uh, this is the motivation section. So stating your motivation to contribute to the organization will show them how and what you think about their product and your motivation to contribute to it. Be genuine about it, and my recommendation is never do open source for stipend or money, because you will not get that far. You should be always excited about your project you are contributing to. You should understand the project. You should be able to explain it to others as well. And then in the motivation section, you can also mention why you are the right person for the project. So it will give or an idea about your ethics and support your deliverables. And moving on, the after the SOC section, well, this section is not included in many proposals, but now that you have completed GSOC, what after that? Will you continue contributing to the org? Is there any future scope of your project? Can you mentor the students next year for the same project? You need to mention all these details, which will give surety to the org that the time they have invested in you isn't a waste. It's always encouraged to not just disappear immediately after completion of the project. Continuing the contribution and helping the community will make you part of the org someday. In my case, after completing my project, I helped Genome Foundation with various website issues, and currently I'm working in their engagement team to organize events like GODEC and Genomesia. And moving on, these are some general do's and don'ts that I jot down with my experience. Always get feedback on your proposal as early as possible. There's always a 1 month gap when the organizations are announced and when you have to submit the proposal. So always like create proposal a bit early and try to get feedback from the mentors. And make sure to always communicate to your mentors. Your idea and their idea should always align, or else you will implement something else and they will be expecting something else. So that will cause a lot of chaos. So don't do that. Then yeah, of course, don't expect quick replies from your mentors, because most of them are working professionals and they do open source as a hobby. So they will reply back to you and they would be happy to help you. But pinging them would, of course, annoy anyone. Okay, and always do your homework before asking questions, like reading the readme, the basic documentation, how you want to set up the project. Read all that and then ask your questions. And like just don't ask the basic questions which is already mentioned in the docs. That creates a bad impression, as it says that you haven't read anything properly about the project and you're just trying to get into the org for GScope. Then, yeah, last and important point, make your timeline believable. Don't overpromise and under-deliverable, because when you overpromise and the org expects the output from you and you're not able to deliver, that makes a bad impression and they might even fail you. So my recommendation is to keep your timeline believable. Always mention when you will be working, when are your exams, uh, when will you be able to complete the project, do you need extension, etc. All of that in this section. So yeah, this is like the basic GSOC proposal template. If you have any questions, you can hit me up on my social media. Thank you.